And in our top business story, Moody's Investors Service has cut its outlook for the debt ratings of Saudi Arabia and 3 other Gulf states, while lowering Bahrain's rating to junk, citing concern over the impact of low oil prices on their finances. Moody's stated that Saudi Arabia's AA3 rating was placed on review for a possible downgrade, adding that it would study whether Riyadh's efforts to expand its non-oil revenues and diversify its economy were likely to work. Moody's also put the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait and Qatar on review for downgrades, countries which are widely seen in the debt markets as more able to cope with an era of low oil prices because of the huge financial reserves relative to small populations. Moody's acknowledged the UAE's planned tax reforms and stated that its economy was more diversified than most in the region. However, it cut Bahrain's rating by 1 notch to Ba1, below investment grade, keeping the rating on review for a further downgrade. Central to the agency's analysis was its view of oil prices. It said it had recently cut its forecast for Brent crude to $33 per barrel in 2016 and $38 in 2017, rising slowly to $48 by 2019. In December, it had predicted Brent at $43 in 2016. Late last month, Moody's cut the rating of Oman by two notches to A3 and kept the rating on review for a further downgrade. And a new study by Oxford Economics and the Chartered Accountants Organisation ICAEW has forecast that governments in the GCC region may need to adjust to a future reality of continued low oil prices. The latest quarterly edition of ICAEW's Economic Insight Middle East states that oil prices will stay around $32 a barrel this year. But more importantly, the report's authors believe that Brent oil prices will remain below $70 per barrel for the rest of the decade. With no sign of a change in the OPEC oil market policy and increasing concerns over growth in China and other emerging markets, growth in oil exporting is showing increasing signs of strain, forcing governments in the region to start considering various degrees of fiscal austerity. While their success in these endeavors is seen internationally as critical to avoid another recession, it comes at a time when non-oil growth is projected to be at its weakest this year since the early 90s. While there has been some progress in diversification of GCC economies, ICAEW states that true economic diversification away from a heavy dependence on oil exports is yet to be achieved. Dubai, however, receives high marks in this respect, as according to Michael Armstrong, ICAEW's regional director for the Middle East, government-implemented structural reforms have improved the ease of doing business in the emirate, in addition to the country's willingness to roll back fuel subsidies and explore the implementation of VAT in 2018.
Across the GCC, the growth would be limited to just 2.1%, which is actually the lowest since the financial crisis. However, we note that the UAE has been more effective in achieving true economic diversification away from the heavy dependence on hydrocarbons. Other countries yet to achieve this. And I think it's because the UAE government has been alert to the serious aspects of low oil price and has been given this much thought. In terms of planning ahead, there is a need to continue the fiscal austerities that the GCC and in particular UAE are looking at, and making sure that the right economic diversification and fiscal reforms are in place. By way of example, UAE has already taken the issue of subsidies on hand to reduce those. It's also advanced in its implementation and bringing VAT as another revenue stream to the government. And also, I think importantly, it's reprioritizing its expenditure, government expenditure, to make sure that the key projects continue and give a confidence to people in both the public and private sector.
With the rapid changes occurring in content delivery services and technologies within the region, organisers of the 22nd edition of CABSAT have stated that the broadcast industry will have to continue to innovate in order to meet the demands of today's new generation of media viewers. CABSAT is the leading platform for the broadcast, digital media and the satellite sectors and will this year be welcoming more than 15,000 regional and international visitors from the 8th to the 10th of March at the Dubai World Trade Center. While the event has traditionally been focused on giving industry professionals an opportunity to get their hands on latest equipment, this year the event will also boast a new content marketplace as well as a content congress held under the theme The Future of Television in a Connected World. Industry forecasts by PricewaterhouseCoopers predict that spending on entertainment and media will reach $66 billion by 2018. As such, according to Andrew Pert, the exhibition director of CABSAT, this year's event provides the perfect opportunity for local professionals to stay ahead of the curve, particularly in light of Dubai's leading role as an innovator in smart city initiatives.
This year's CABSAT will be challenging several questions in the market, looking at how the speed of connectivity is continuing to increase, the opportunities now available around more affordable pay TV and video stream services are all coming together for broadcasters and distributors of content to deliver more high-definition content formats for paying viewers. This year, all of those elements will be debated around the future of TV, with leading global international studios including DreamWorks, Netflix and Sony Pictures to really understand how this evolving TV landscape and how it's going to look in the next 12 to 18 months. This year you'll get a full run through of really the only environment that happens annually here in the MENA region to test and experience all of the latest electronic media equipment. So from cameras, the latest in 4K, to the latest technologies and software that will see future editing platforms delivered through cloud. We have some exciting new brands such as HP and Huawei. The event this year as well also hosts over 90 hours of content. So please make the most of anybody coming to the event of our meeting and networking programs. We also have our Apple and Adobe certified post-production trainings, as well as numerous free-to-air content seminars on the show floor.
The Central Bank of the UAE has announced that it will put a new 200 dirham denomination currency note into circulation on Monday, reprinted with tactile marks for the blind and sight impaired. The tactile feature on the 200 dirham note consists of a pair of two horizontal lines separated by a recognizable distance and the middle of the right and left short sides of the note. The silver metallic thread is replaced with a broader 3mm multicolor color shift at the back of the note reading UAE 200. The metallic ink surrounding the UAE emblem on the front top half of the note is also replaced by a multicolored shifting element. However, the overall design and other specifications of the currency note will be the same as those currently in circulation. The currency note will be dispensed to banks in accordance with the central bank's established procedures for cash withdrawal and deposit. The preliminary step represents one of the bank's progressive moves to enable sight-impaired individuals to access all banking services.